On today's episode of Days of Our Lives, Lord Sebastian complicates the plot to save Andrew. Paul worries, Kristen interrogates Megan, and Dimitri is excited to see his mother again. Kristen queries Megan about how Dimitri will free them from jail if he is also imprisoned. As they converse, Megan assures Kristen that her clever and charming son is securing their release. Megan asserts that she gave birth to Dimitri and raised him to become the lovely guy he is today, when Kristen asks whether Dimitri is actually her son. Steve and Harris visit a handcuffed Dimitri at the station after buying the Greek police with money. Harris gives Dimitri the task of letting them know where Andrew is. Dimitri demands to be satisfied first. They question why he agreed to grant Megan immunity. Dimitri proudly introduces her as his mother. John notifies Paul in San Francisco that Andrew has been taken hostage. Paul paces while trying to wait for a response. He and John wonder how Andrew could have been caught in Dimitri's snare. Whatever Dimitri used, in John's opinion, had to be damnably important. Paul becomes upset as he begins to question whether it was him because his phone was taken last week. John tells his kid that Andrew will be returned. In a pitch-black storage room, a bald man wets Andrew and awakens him. Andrew, who was bound to a chair, recalls receiving a call informing him that Paul had been abducted. He was told to keep it a secret and head to the airport for more information. A terrified Andrew then received a picture of Paul holding a knife to his throat after hanging up. He later burst into the storage room after tracking Paul's phone, only to find a dark-haired goon there instead of Paul. When the bald goon exits the room, a beaten Andrew struggles with his handcuffs. Marlena is composing a text to John at home when the doorbell rings. Roman and Kate see it as she opens it. Marlena, overcome, hugs the other survivor who had come back from the grave. Marlena reports that Dimitri took Andrew as they reunite. Kristen wonders whether Dimitri is Dimitri's father in prison because she was fixated on Beau and only had eyes for him. Megan explains that after she emerged from the cryogenic cell, Stefan wanted her to remain quiet in Europe. She first met the father of Dimitri there. They definitely got along, Kristen jokes. The reply from Megan is that she wanted a kid and she got one. After some time, Dimitri's father moved him to boarding school because he thought her parenting style was too crazy and strict. That didn't stop them from staying close, though. After all, a boy's mother is his best buddy. Steve, a vicious, soulless Demera through and through, accepts Dimitri's allegations regarding Megan at the Greek police station. Dimitri brushes off the peon's comments while he considers whether Harris and Steve will take the necessary action to save Andrew. The bald tyrant comes back to Andrew, who is seen dozing off on his chair. Andrew knocks the bad guy out when he turns around. He turns toward the door, but is met by the dark-haired thug's gun. Right away, he is bound again to the chair. Megan explains to Kristen that Beau is everything, whereas Dimitri's father was merely a means to an end. Given that Beau is unconscious, Kristen advises her to move on. Hope will change his bedpans while Megan keeps an eye on his predicament from a distance. She will intervene as soon as it seems he will wake up. She has her own destiny in Salem to complete in the interim. In addition to reminding her of the vow to bring her out of there, Kristen remarks that their destinies are similar. Steve speaks on the phone with Shane in Greece after Shane pleaded for Dimitri and Megan's release. After Steve hangs up, a bearded and brown-haired Lord Sebastian Alamein approaches him. Sebastian tells Steve that due to the failure of the Alamanian Peacock, he will be returning Dimitri to Alamania. Dimitri will spend the rest of his sad life there, rotting in jail. He obtains a court order stating as Steve much from claims Greece's that if top Sebastian court kills him, a good guy will perish. He requests that he act morally and assist them in rescuing Andrew Donovan. Harris is made fun of by Dimitri in the other room for never being good enough for the Hope Bradys and John Blacks of this world. Harris is welcome to work for Dimitri and Megan because of his profound admiration for his abilities. A sour tone, Harris queries whether he's actually attempting to seduce him into the dark side. It's more gray, according to Dimitri. A country of shadows, if you will. He would need to be brainwashed once more, Harris counters, in order to work for him and Mommy Dearest. Dimitri chuckles. I'll definitely give it some thought. In prison, Megan is reminded by Kristen that she is the reason she is there in the first place. Megan is wary. If Megan hadn't told Beau to steal the flower, Kristen would have been able to save the women. Additionally, Megan will require Kristen's support when she asserts her birthright. Megan vows to assist her but won't take a chance of interfering with Dimitri's discussions. Megan will make a sworn adversary whose influence goes beyond the prison walls, warns Kristen if she decides to leave her in there. Dimitri is arrogant when Steve returns. He advises Dimitri to avoid Alemania once he is liberated. Steve receives a call on the phone he is holding from Megan. Steve is compelled to surrender it by Dimitri. In his excited response, Dimitri assures his mother that they will soon be set free. He is eager to share the occasion with her. Megan agrees, but she wants him to make a small modification to their agreement. Kristen chuckles. Paul tells John in San Francisco that he followed his counsel and made the decision.